Hi, this is Larry Levin, and welcome to another edition of Cop Talk. And with me, as always, is our esteemed Editor-in-Chief Emeritus, Robert Cohn.
Great to be here.
And I'm wearing this hat that says The Debt, because on August 30th, we are doing a giveaway, and you can pick up tickets while supplies last for the August 30th showing of The Debt, and you can pick them up at Straub's in Clayton.
It stars Helen Mirren, who is, along with Meryl Streep, one of the best actresses working, and it's a very compelling story.
You bet. Bob, the world's eyes are on Libya right now, and the situation changes by the minute. Right now, as we record on Wednesday, rebels are hunting Muammar Qaddafi. He remains at large, and no one knows what the outcome will be. And as we stressed in our editorial in today's newspaper, a revolution that's successful initially in removing a despot can become a disaster quite quickly.
No question about it, and I think we were on the money, as it turns out, even though the situation kept going back and forth. The hard part does kick in with the end of the Qaddafi brutal regime, and the hope is that some responsible people will be at the helm as opposed to another strongman who might even end up being worse than Qaddafi.
Now, which way is it going to play out? I mean, we've seen a very, or relatively, kind of peaceful process in Tunisia, for instance, and on the other hand, in Egypt, we're seeing Muslim Brotherhood and some other militant and Islamist organizations making some strides politically.
Well, the National Transitional Council has some pretty impressive people in it.
The one in Libya.
The one in Libya,
yeah.
As opposed to, and I think that it will follow that model, the Tunisian model, more so than the Egyptian model.
Okay. Now we are seeing renewed terror attacks in southern Israel. And we saw a brutal situation in Eilat last week, and renewed bombings into Ashdod and Sderot and those areas. What does this say about the coming proposed vote on Palestinian statehood? How do Hamas, Muslim Brotherhood, and other militant groups believe that this could possibly help their cause?
Well, I think by focusing tremendous attention with repeated violent actions, that will put the Palestinian issue front and center again, and they're hoping that that will build momentum towards some action by the United Nations to recognize the Palestinian Authority as an independent state. I think that might be it back.
Even if they are able to bypass the Security Council and get a vote from the General Assembly, they know that the countries that are going to vote for them are already pretty well locked. All the Arab nations and the nations that support them. But I would think that the violence would push away any nations that are on the fringe, the ones that are that the U.S. and European leaders have been wooing.
Well, logic doesn't always control the actions of foreign ministries, especially in countries like France historically, so one can't really predict with any degree of certainty. I think a lot of people would just like to get rid of the Palestinian issue and might just vote for recognition just to get that part of it off the table.
Yeah, okay, and now let's switch to yet another Israeli-related topic, and that is that the conservative pundit Glen Beck has been visiting Israel. Let me contrast this with something that happened 50 years ago, since I'm reading the excellent book Berlin 1961. So at that time, the renowned journalist Walter Lippmann went to the Soviet Union and really served to find bridges between Khrushchev and Kennedy. He was almost an unofficial kind of diplomat on behalf of the United States. Now in 2011, fast forward, Glen Beck goes to Israel and tries to incite hate against those who disagree with his kind of right politics and his religious views. What's wrong with this picture?
Well, it is not appropriate to exploit a good relationship with Israel, and I believe he does sincerely support Israel versus the Arabs. So that kind of reinforces the divisiveness and the prevention of a peaceful resolution, and also stirs up resentments among the various religions in the world, and doesn't really serve the same kind of purpose that Walter Lippmann was attempting to back in 1961.
Right, I agree.